Ladies and gentlemen, it is I, the Dreadhead Monster, with your weekend report. How everybody doing? Let's get into it. The last 5 days, man, there's been a lot of scoring. So you had Cat with 62, Embiid with 70, Devin Booker with 62 points, Luca with 73. Um, man, that's a lot of points. Which led to Paul Pierce saying he blames the lack of defense for Luka's and D Book scoring output. Paul Pierce played in the same league where Kobe scored 81. I mean, Michael Jordan scored 60 countless of times. I mean, the highest number would be somebody, scoring 100, which was Wilt. I think we had 73 last year by Donovan Mitchell. I think we had a 71 game by Damian Lillard. I mean, it's just kind of where the game is taking us. I mean, shout out to those guys. Those are incredible feats. I mean, they were all on good shooting nights. I mean, what can you really say, against something like that when it's already happened before? So, I mean, you know what, guys? Keep scoring, keep going out there and being phenomenal. I mean, I love to see it, and it leads me to something I've been saying for the last couple years. Is when this happens, it probably lasts like 2 weeks. So somebody's gonna go out there and score 60. My questions to you guys is, who do you think, or which players, do you think is gonna be the next guys that go out there and score 60 or more? So I'm sure we're bound to see it in the upcoming weeks. So um, almost All Star break. So we got those Western Conference starters. Of course, you got LeBron as your captain, Katie, Jokic, Shy Alexander, Luca. Those were your fan votes. So, those are your starters for the Western Conference starters. Because if you didn't notice, they went back to East and West. So, we're going back to the original game. I'm not sure if they're going to do the whole point thing again, but I do know we're going back to East and West. They put out the jerseys the other day. So, Eastern Conference, you got Giannis as the captain, Joel Embiid, Jason Tatum, Dame Lillard, Tyrese Halliburton. So Dame Lillard, I think this is gonna be like his first time being voted in as a starter. So shout out to Dame coming to the East, and making it happen for itself. So um, I don't think this was the first firing, but this is the first head scratch as a firing. Adrian Griffin out. Doc Rivers in as a Bucks new head coach. Man, Doc get a lot of credit for winning that championship out there in Boston. He's had a lot of chances since then. They said Adrian Griffin wasn't the right guy to try to coach them to a championship. I mean, they just hired him during the summer. He had a 30-13 record before he got fired. So I mean, I do believe Doc Rivers is a coach, and he should mesh with those guys because a lot of them, respect him for knowing them around the league and stuff like that. So we shall see what happens. But if you're a Doc Rivers fan or follow them as a coach, I mean, like I say, he ain't really won one since the Boston Celtics. I think that was back in '08, and had a lot of good coaching jobs since then. So shout out to Doc. Shout out to Adrian Griffin. Sorry that happened to you, but hopefully you land somewhere, and maybe Doc Rivers is the one to push these guys to the championship. So before we leave the NBA, we got the NBA power rankings. At number five, the Bucks with their new head coach, 31-13. You got the 76ers, Joel Embiid with that big scoring output the other night, sat out against Denver, 29-14. Thunder, like you say, Shy Alexander is an all-star. Shout out to them. Josh Giddey, Chet, 31-13. The Clippers at 28-14 have been playing some incredible basketball. go ahead and get into the, a playoff spot and everything they've been doing over there. So shout out to Tyronn Lue and the Clippers and everybody over there. The Celtics are number one in the NBA power rankings, 35-10. On to some football. Jim Harbaugh is in as the Chargers' new head coach, which means that the dude we saw crying, that's always going to be funny to me. Sharon Moore takes over as Michigan's head coach. I don't know if that was the job to take. I still think those sanctions and everything are coming down, but shout out to Jim, Justin Herbert. We should see what he. That's a good team to, go to. So got a lot of weapons over there. Maybe that's all they was missing. Was a good head coach. So more coaching news. You got Raheem Morris, former defensive coordinator for the Rams, is now the Atlanta Falcons head coach. Brian Callahan got the Titans job, and the Raiders officially hire Antonio Pierce as their head coach. So a lot of moving pieces in the NFL, and we are still not done with the season. The Lions and 49ers, NFC Championship, today or tomorrow, whenever you're watching this. You know what? Since we already talked about it, I thought we'd just give out some maybe biggest strengths and biggest weakness of both teams. So we got a little news on both. The Lions won't activate Zach Ertz. He will not be playing in the NFC Championship team, even though they brought him in. But that does not stop their biggest strength from being their offensive weapons. You got St. Brown, Laporta, Dave Montgomery, Jamar Gibbs, Josh Reynolds. A lot of touchdowns between those guys, a lot of receptions. Got a lot of offensive firepower. Biggest weakness that may show up against the 49ers is their pass defense. They struggle to contain the opposing passing attacks this season, so we shall look out for that in the championship game. 49ers, you got Deebo Samuel. He will be playing, so said don't worry about his shoulders, and he ain't had nothing. So, of course, biggest strength for the 49ers is running the ball when you got Christian McCaffrey. So, biggest weakness also comes from the running game. Everybody on that line is kind of suspect except for Trent Williams. So Christian McCaffrey makes up for a lot of the mistakes on that line. So it could be a problem, could not be. So Ravens versus Chiefs, AFC Championship. Mark Andrews has been activated from injured reserve. Their biggest strength would be their pass rush. In the same sense, biggest weakness, run defense, which you really can't say because a lot of teams did, run the ball once, the Ravens was up, they did beat a lot of teams by a lot of points. So that is a kind of suspect of being a weakness. So the Chiefs, that cover pass rush combination is really stepped up. Couple years, it's really been about the offense. These last couple games and playoff games, the defense has really stepped up. They have only given up, I think, like 17 points, and they're outscoring their opponents by not outscoring, but it's up from 21.8. So biggest weakness, of course, we've been talking about this all year, is the wide receivers. So hopefully they go into this game. It's been a lot of drops this season, but you just got to make it through 2 games, guys. So we already gave you our picks through the weeks. We took some votes from the 100 sports fans. So we got the Ravens going on, and I believe we got the San Francisco 49ers heading to the Super Bowl. So with all that said, we appreciate you. I appreciate you. This is the Weekend Report. This is the Dreadhead Monster. Enjoy the games. Holla at you next week.